Well, this is the first.
Today we are doing crown molding. Always wear your PPE and have a licensed, insured, and certified trade to do the work required. This video is for entertainment purposes only.
So I started this room because there's no power here. And it would be the first room, smallest room, to kind of refresh my crown molding skills. As you can see, I have tight seams, I glue them together, nailed the rest. Usually I used to glue the rest, but just for expedience sake. So going throughout the house, obviously this little niche right here is going to be the octagon. I started crown here. I want to redo this. I don't really like it too much. It's going to come all the way through here. It's going to butt into the wall here because the crown mold's going to be taken up by the kitchen, going all the way around here, and then it's going to mesh in here. So I'm going to have a piece going across here, which will have to wait to have the final cut for right here when the kitchen crown molding goes into it. Because this is 7" on the saw here, and the crown molding for the kitchen is 4 or 5" if I'm not mistaken. So I'm going to save that piece for last, and then we're going to have the crown molding going all the way around here, coming all the way around here, and then going into that little octagon over there. Now, this room here had lights today. They were taken out by the electrician because they're moving it from that wall to this wall for the pocket door I'm going to install this weekend. So it's going to go around the entire room. I might need to either use the current light and another one I have, or go home and grab some more lights. So we'll see how far I can get, because I'm going to be pulling it out later. I figure this will be a fun night to demonstrate my crown molding skills, because tomorrow, if I don't finish this, someone else is going to come and finish it. So it's do or die. So one of the more basic tools you're going to need is an angle measuring tool, otherwise known as a protractor. So that will read out here, and it reads about 140 degrees, which is somewhat accurate. I'll press into that quicker. Another one, I like to get a 90-degree measurement. This is actually kind of broken too. You go around the corner, and that'll be around 90 degrees. So you just have to be gentle with it. And we're close to 90 degrees. So you split the difference, 45, 45. You set your saw up here, because this is 45, 45 crown molding. You have 52, 38 crown molding. And to get that, you just put a piece up on the top of the wall. And I'm digressing now. You use the spacer, which I want to demonstrate. It's probably making you guys dizzy right now. And you can see right there. You can also put a speed square on this, which you will get a closer measurement. And we're gonna do that right now. See how well I can do this one-handed. There we go. There. So that shows you that it's 45, 45 crown molding, and you can get that via the angles printed on the speed square. And when I go around, I measure everything, I write the measurement, and then I measure down to where the crown molding stops and starts. So this one is 4 5/8 from here to here, and then here to here. So from the bottom to the corner, and the corner to the out edge. So we have the protractor, very important to read all the angles. There's also charts online. I might put a few of them in the video.
Here we have a basic crown molding chart, and we're going to focus on the 45-45 cuts. It gives you your miter and bevel cuts. Now, you take your main angle, you divide it in half, and that gives you your cut angles. So you'll have a different cut angle for the miter and a different cut angle for the bevel. Together, it'll give you your both pieces to come together to create the full angle.
The next thing you need, and this is pretty important, this will help you. So we have the outside test piece, and we have the inside test piece. Now the reason why we have these is to, one, give the orientation on the crown molding, so the molding is always at the bottom. And this is a quick visual test to to see what angle you're at. So you know if you're cutting the right side angle, if you're cutting the left side angle. So, because this is very easy to get mixed up. Because some angles are 22 and 15, other angles are 39 and 5, and then it's 22 and 5. So it can get very convoluted very quickly. So having like test pieces, not just these, but you could have other angles and test pieces. These are the basic test pieces. I have other ones running around here somewhere for the smaller angles, the 15 by 15 angles. For example, those angles right there are 16 and 15 approximately. But anyways, we're digressing. So it's important to have your test pieces for the angles that you want to cut. So when you go to measure it up and you get everything all right, ready to go, you just put this down beside it and make sure you have the saw pointed or orientated at the right angle on both these. So the miter and the bevel. So this will be the bevel, this is the miter. So if you get a chart that says miter at 35 and 6, you switch it over here, because that's the miter, it'll say 22.5 approximately for another angle cut. So you take the stopper off, you loosen it, so now it's loose, and I'm going to do this one-handed, and stopper's back on, there it is, stopper's off, and you just tighten it right like there, boom. So now we've set the miter, which is this, and then the bevel, which is the angle going this way. So now you know how to set the saw. This saw is particularly kind of cool. It's one of the bigger sliding miter, double bevel, whatever saws. And I like it because it's one, it's cordless, and two, it has a light. I'll demonstrate that in a second. I got to get the batteries out. So now power and the batteries are both back on. So this is a flex volt. So it's only at 2 bars. 2 bars for the next battery. It's good enough. So when I want to go to cut, typically what I'll do is I'll bring the blade down to where it's supposed to be, and then I'll cut it. If you look closely, you'll see that there's a shadow for where the blade's coming down, and that is a brilliant design by DeWalt. So I think that gives you the basics on how to cut crown molding. You can cut it flat, like I'm demonstrating, or you can cut it on the fence, where you get the fence all set up and you orientate the crown molding which way it's going to go. So you're basically going to cut it like trim. That's like for smaller crown molding, it works perfectly. For bigger crown molding, not so much. You can stretch it if you were to build a better fence on the back and kind of get it going, but otherwise it really doesn't work as well as you'd like it to. I have done it with 7-inch before and it turned out okay. But really the best way to cut this size of crown molding would be flat. Lay it down, use the miter, use the bevel, and just cut it. The other way is kind of like an idiot-proof way to do it for the 4-inch crown molding, for example, where you actually set it up like as if it was supposed to be on the wall, and then you cut it. And like I said, it'll be cut just like trim. So it takes all the thinking away from it. But again, it all depends on the size. And there are different cheats you can do and whatnot. I use charts, I use online calculators, I use it all because I want my cuts to be perfect the first time. And if I remember, I'll leave links in the description down below. So let's get this started. So like I was saying, I measure out what the piece is, and apparently it is not 95 and 5/8, it is 96 1/4. And then I put little marks at 4 and 5/8 all the way down, so it gives me a reference on where the crown molding should be. So now we're going to cut that piece at 96 1/4. gaps will be filled up, so it's not really a big deal. And I do have some more adjustments to make. Just trying to make sure I don't trip over anything. That's a butt joint right there. Basically 45 to 45 makes it to a nice flat joint. And that's where we're going to continue from. Now we'll go back over to the original, or to the starting. This is where there's a piece going all the way along here. So I'm thinking of cutting that piece now and just fitting it up there temporarily. And then that piece can be, well, it'll be safe up there so it won't get lost. I think I'm going to do that. Oh, jeez. Oh. Okay, well, got it on high speed, like time lapse, so it looks like it's gonna be high speed, but you get to see this piece of wood smash me in the face. And I just watched it, it's quite hilarious. Like, these things are 14 feet long, they're MDF, they're not very strong, they're very flimsy. But seeing it smash me in the face, and then my foot comes off the ground, I'm just like, I'm gonna play it again for you. It's one of those awesome moments.
And here it comes. Walk over, pick up the wood, and then boom! Headshot. I'm looking down at the wood. I'm kind of feeling my nose getting a little runny, checking, and I just shut off the camera. So just to recap, got the lift. So I'm picking up the crown molding, and then we have the snap as it's coming toward my face. And then we have the boom! The headshot. And you can see my leg getting thrown like off the ground there, and I'm throwing back a little bit, and I'm just looking at the wood like, oh, that literally just happened.
Okay, take two. Let's see if I can hit myself in the face again. This is how it happened last time. I was swinging this around to get it orientated. This is, luckily enough, it's already orientated the right way. And then, wham! In the face, right in the kisser, straight to the moon. Made me laugh. So we're looking at 137. Could be less 24 inches, so it's not really a big deal. So 137, less 24 inches. So we'll make it at 20. So mark it out there. Yeah. So cabinets. Well, that's 137. You know what? Doesn't really matter. Yeah. So mark it right there. Extra couple inches don't really matter so much. Okay. are not gluing this, just so you know. This is a temp piece because it has to be cut again. So I'm just going to write temp on it. There. Hopefully 3 times written will get the point across. Oh, come on. That'll work. There we go. Yeah, 20 inches. That should leave enough for the cabinet. this is the first. I have a bad habit of holding the guard on the saw, and I just cut my hand open. Nice. Not sure what to do about it. I can still move it and stuff, like, so it's just a flesh wound, but stupid. Anyways, back to work. So yeah, it still hurts. It's gonna leave an interesting scar, but like I can still move it. So, and it stopped bleeding, so that's kind of nice. But whatever, hurts like heck. At least I gotta take care of this after I'm done working here. I've got 1, 2, I want to adjust this piece here, and then I've got this piece going across here, and I have the other rib in the back. So I got lots of work to do still. Anyways. Just finished this part, and as long as I don't trip over everything. So we have the master bedroom coming up next. As we're walking around, front door's open, so I'm gonna bring in some more of the trim. The ceiling is around level, so that was problematic. But some adjustments might be necessary. Making sure I don't fall into the stairs there. Knocking things over, which is alright. All in all, it does need some finishing. But you know what? It's pretty daggone good. So, that all being said, on to the master bedroom. Still the finishing and polishing left, but master is crowned. And the main area is crowned from the kitchen over. Looking good. We follow this around, all the way across. To the octagon of death. It's not really an octagon of death, I'm just saying. It's all looking good. And it butts in right there. Beautiful. So if you guys are wondering what happened to my hand, where's a piece that I can show this with you? There's one. That's long enough. Basically, I was cutting a piece like so, as you can see right there. Now, whenever you use a saw, this is a bad habit of mine. I will do this so I can find the blade, and it's never bitten me until today. And that's how this happened. So anyways, I'm not gonna be doing that anymore. That's a bad habit that I've had forever. It's gone. I caught myself a couple times tonight. It'll probably catch myself a few more times, and that habit is done. So this is what happened. The wood split like this, and the saw was slightly different. I think the saw was more over here, so when the blade was cut, this is the cut piece I wanted at the time, and it was also angled. So I had the guard held, and this piece came up. So I reached in, stupid, and the blade was still spinning because like the guard was up and everything, and that's how this happened. So let's just pretend here for a second. Guard is up. Sorry, it's hard to do. So the piece comes up like this to hit the blade, and I pushed in my hand like this, and that's how you get all this disgustingness. So the blade came up and gone. So didn't cut anything important, so to speak. Just did some flesh damage. So I'll have a nifty scar there, and that's about it. Anyways, be safe, guys. Don't, like if there's guards on the equipment like this, don't circumvent them. Don't be like me. If anybody can learn from this, it's both me and y'all watching this. I want to be fine. I still got to get it looked at and whatnot. I probably won't do that. I'll probably just bandage it up, and then obviously clean it and bandage it up, and away we go. Because they're not really going to do too much for me. Stitches won't really do too much for me, and that's that. So once this is clean, I'm sure it'll be more painful once again, and that's just that. I'm going to clean up my mess and get the heck on out of here. So y'all be safe, and hope you enjoy the video. I'm going to post it later.